My name is Frances Lemmon and I am a landscape artist, painter. My studio is in my garden and it usually contains a dog, and it's a great place because it's very quiet. The colour and the structure in my work is really a legacy of my discipline earlier on in life. So I was a scenic painter for theatres, and then I was a graphic designer and sign writer for years as well. One element of that is very loose and one element of that is very controlled. I get to grips with the landscape before I paint by reading up and, if possible, talking to the people that live in the landscape. So in relation to Costa Rica, it was very much finding people that I could talk to, or who could then introduce me to other people I could talk to. I put people into my landscapes because a landscape usually does contain people. It would be quite easy to keep the people out of it and just to say this is a landscape without people. But is that human element that is important in terms of scale and context, and that is part of those people's lives. Working with Art for Guernsey, for me as an artist, has given me greater space to present myself, to convey that to be a professional artist living in Guernsey is a highly disciplined profession. If you don't work each day, you don't achieve anything. I learnt about the William Lacheur story through Joan Ozanne, who was a delightful lady, a great bastion of the arts in Guernsey. So she told me this remarkable story about this Guernseyman who had grown up in forest, and then he'd gone to sea, and then he'd imported coffee beans from Costa Rica to London, and then through that he'd taken Bibles to Costa Rica and football, and he'd taken sewing machines so that the farmers could make their own clothes and make their own bags and garments and things, so they could be more empowered, I suppose. And I was just amazed by this story and the fact that no one really knew about him in Guernsey. When I got to Costa Rica, I was part of an art residency. And I literally had to walk around the streets looking for inspiration. I had no idea where to start. There was no clue as to how I could get into this landscape. But I think in a way it was the best introduction, because if it had been there immediately, I wouldn't have struggled and I would have found everything I needed. And I wouldn't have had to find it, to hunt it down. So I needed that panic was building within me. I'm never ever going to find anything that's worthy of a painting here. I went to a coffee plantation. I got there and then the guide was talking to me one day in the coffee plantation, and all these big seed pods are falling down on this asbestos roof, a corrugated roof next to us, making these huge thuds, and I could hardly hear what he was saying. And I said, "What is that noise?" And he said, "Oh, that's the green pirates." And I'm not sure whether he meant the green pirates or the green parrots, but he did say pirates. So I suddenly thought, this is a painting, because here we have these birds that are flitting around that you can't see, and you have this huge tree which is a beautiful orange blossom tree. And there was a picture there instantly. So I think as soon as I had got to the point where I knew the first painting was okay, I knew there was a way into the landscape, I felt much more relaxed. I could actually, it's almost like you take a deep breath out and you say, okay, I've got an image in my head. I can now start tapping into other areas and start talking to other people. The third large piece is probably the most personal because that's based on my experience of being in that landscape. So it's that sense of sitting in a really hot bus and then going from town to town or village to village, and each place having a church. So I thought I need to put an element of Christianity, well, not Christianity, but religion in somewhere. So I put in an element of religion, but not a very obvious element, I think. I got to the point where I stopped panicking about things and I just started just using all my senses to listen and to smell and to see things. And having come back from Costa Rica now, it's almost like a dream. But the dream is a story in itself. So it's of a different place, and I hope I've conveyed that. But it's a different place.
We saw the Lacheur and Frances Lemmon project like an opportunity to create or recreate awareness about our own history, Guernsey history, and you know, all the children from all the schools working in the context of art in school have revisited through their curriculum this character, and it started from an art project. So obviously today we will curate the exhibition of Frances Lemmon, but it will be surrounded by, you know, almost hundreds of responses from the children in visual arts, in 3D, and also, very importantly, because William Lacheur brought football to Costa Rica, we have launched a competition to design the best football shirt ever, and we will be curating 18 of those on mannequins here at the Market Square, like almost like torsos, like sculptures. The football shirt design competition and the football festival has created a very strong opportunity for art and sport to come together. I really like that collaborative element, and I really like the fact that we had the opportunity to work with the Sports Commission and the Guernsey FA on this. They feel as excited as we do about this collaboration, and I think it's great that sports and arts are coming together to celebrate the legacy of a Guernsey hero. You know that usually at Art for Guernsey we kind of import an international artist to have them visit Guernsey and be inspired and produce artworks. And in this particular instance, I see it like we exported a local artist to Costa Rica to go and capture the legacy of a Guernsey man in a fantastic artistic project that basically created this opportunity for the children to revisit their own history. What is better than an art exhibition and a football festival to celebrate the friendship between two countries? In fact, we have arranged for the 18 winning design of the football shirts to be swapped, because we believe in the meaning of swapping a football shirt. So 18 Guernsey schools will be swapping shirts with 18 Costa Rican schools as further bridges to build friendships between the two countries.